Hello, my lovely Year 5 artists. Welcome to the third lesson of your collage project. We've already made collages inspired by Manchester inventions. We've made collages inspired by the people of Manchester. And now we're looking at Manchester as a place. And Manchester as a place inspired lots of artists like Lowry and Meha Hindocha, who does these lovely cityscapes, including this one of Manchester. Usarae creates these beautiful coloured paintings of Rusholme in Manchester. And Dave Draws has made these fantastic doodle maps of Manchester. So we're looking at a collage artist who uses maps, Shannon Rankin. She makes these beautiful designs using old maps, creating these lovely collages and effects. So we're going to make a collage based on maps of Manchester today. So I've got you a colour copy of the map. It's inner city Manchester, and you can see there we go, that's the city centre, and that's where we are, down in Longside, down there. And I've got you colour and I've got you black and white to use. You also need a piece of cardboard to mount it on. Yeah, our lovely friend, the glue stick and scissors. I told you we'll be using them. And then you'll need a pencil or a pen. I'm using a pen so you can see it better with the filming. Now, I've also made you some templates to draw around, because if you think about Shannon's work, she uses lots of outlines of faces. So I've done lots of different ones here, including this one of a woman with a hijab, as that represents a lot of our Muslim friends in Manchester. And we can see how we can lay those onto our maps and draw around them and cut them out to make some lovely shapes. So I'm going to begin doing my version now. I'm going to just start off with using one of the templates of the heads here, but I'm not going to draw it on the side of the actual map. I'm going to draw it on the back. This means we're not going to have any of the lines showing, any of the black outlines. If you look at Shannon Rankin's work, it's very clean, and we want to try and do the same. That's the idea. With this one, it's quite different from the other collages we've done, where we're trying to make it very clean looking. So there we go. I can start playing with that. And if you look where I cut it out, it left a lovely shape actually in the rest of the map. So I'm using that. Now I'm cutting out strips in the black and white, mounting them on, trimming those bits off, adding those. And you see how I'm using that echo from where I cut out the face. I really like that. That's worked out really nicely, but it needs a bit more. It's very clean, which is very much like her work, but I think it needs a bit more on there. So I'm using some of my offcuts to maybe do some framing now. And if you remember, Shannon does lots of lovely folding and sort of like shaping in that way as well. So I'm making a concertina here, like you would make a fan, a paper fan. And I'm going to put lots of glue on and choose somewhere to put that on. So try it in different places. Remember, we're trying out composition here. We're seeing where things work. But if you do stick something down and you don't like it, just remove it and start that bit again. Right, let's have a look at my one now. I'm nearly finished, I think. A few more lines just helping with the framing. And I might just... I think it's quite nice to sort of balance it out a bit there. And this is what we mean by composition, where we're looking what feels right. And if sometimes you just move something in a tiny, tiny way and it suddenly makes it look so much better. So take your time on this. Have a look at some of Shannon's work again to get some more ideas. Look back at the PowerPoint. She uses lots of really nice ideas for shaping. You might want to take those there. I think that's pretty good. I like that one. Now, as well as using scissors, you might want to use a knife. And I've put in some of these cutting mats and a few craft knives for you to try out. You don't have to use this, but what is important is you're careful when you use this. So what I want you to do is to make sure your knife is properly shut before you pick it up. And then when you do open it, you only push out the blade a tiny amount there before putting the lock on. Pull down on the piece of black there to put the lock on. You do not want a big knife sticking out. You just need the smallest amount possible. So the reason why I'm showing you this is because Shannon uses a knife, but I want to show you how to use it safely. It's very important that your hand is always to the side of where you're cutting or above where you are cutting, and you always cut pulling towards you. Don't cut flicking away or anything like that. It's about having absolute control. There's no reason reason to cut yourself with these knives, but if you do slashing movements or go across your hand, of course you'll cut yourself. So your hand is always to the side or always above where you're cutting, and you always pull down and cut towards you, and that way you will cut safely. Okay, when you've finished cutting, you always pull the blade back in and put the brake on, and that means that you've cut perfectly safely. So you can see here why I wanted to show you this, because it's quite nice to be able to take pieces out of the map like Shannon does. Again, you don't have to do this at all if you don't fancy it. It's absolutely fine. You can just use scissors if you prefer. But you can see here how I'm building up my collage this time. I've used some templates, but I've also made some of my own. I drew around a circle there, for example, and I'm using my scissors to really shape this map. So I've used the knife and I've used the scissors, but I've used the knife safely. That's the important bit. Hand to the side or above that you're holding the paper with, and always cut towards you so that you're nicely in control. So this is my second composition. When you've finished, make sure you scrape together any pieces of map you've not used. Again, we don't want to be wasteful. And there's two of my compositions, my Manchester as a Place collages in the style of Shannon Rankin. I really like those. They've come out really nicely. So have a play, use the black and white and the colour. Think about the techniques that Shannon uses and enjoy. And what you also need to be doing is collecting now. This is our last collage we're making this half term. Next half term, you're making your final Made in Manchester collages. You might want bus tickets like Kurt Schwitters. You might want bits of cloth. You might want bottle caps for Vimto. I don't know. Have a look around. Find yourself some materials.